They criticize you, or they don't trust you, or they don't believe in you that much. So
or they don't say the truth.
Or they're lying.
Or they're lying. Hi everyone, we're here at the Foro Italico for the BNL Internazionali Masters 1000 in Rome. It's not only a great tennis tournament, but it's also very attractive thanks to its beauty and its art. Today we're interviewing one of the most charismatic and interesting tennis coaches. Hi Patrick, thanks a lot for being with us today. We're here in Rome, such a beautiful place to be. What makes it special from the rest of the tournaments?
Well, first of all, Rome. I think Rome is a very special city. I'm a Parisian originally, so it reminds me a bit of Paris. It's like a museum outdoor.
Yes.
The city is really amazing, and second, the tournament. By look, you just have to look around and you see all those statues. You feel so much history.
So much art.
So much art, history.
Beauty.
And I think, and I'm not saying that, I know a lot of players do this, I'm not saying that because I am in Rome, but the people here, the crowd, some of the best fans in the world. There, you feel the excitement. You come for the qualifications, the stadium is already full. When you see other Masters 1000 in the quarterfinals, it's half empty, sometimes even more than half. You see that here is really special. There is such a connection between, I think, the Italian crowd and tennis, and sport in general.
Speaking of which, some of them are a bit disappointed because their main sponsor right now, like Sceneries, he's not here. So they're a bit sad though, Italians.
I can understand, but first of all, you have a lot of Italians who are playing. I think Italian tennis is really doing incredibly well at the moment. So that's, of course, it's not Sinner, but there's still a lot of very good Italian players, and we're going to have great tennis. There are so many champions. Then there is history. Rafa is maybe playing his last year. There are young guys coming up, and I think it's great that there is competition. Sinner is, I think, since the start of the season, is the best in the world. But Alcaraz is close, and I think some others, and I hope mine will knock on the door very soon.
What do you think is the best part of Sinner right now? Speaking of Italian players, everyone has this image of him being such a nice boy, such a nice player. He's so focused. Yeah. What do you feel when you see him play?
I agree with all that. I think he's an extremely serious guy and player. I also feel his fire. I think he really loves tennis. He's passionate about this sport, and he has when he plays there is fire. I mean, even the way he hits the ball. I think he's the prototype of the modern player. He's always moving forward. He doesn't step back. He's aggressive on every single shot. Of course, it's an aggression that is under control, but it's still an aggression non-stop. I think he's an incredible athlete. He's tall, and this is also what's the modern tennis, being able to be tall, but also an incredible mover at the same time. He has both. He's incredibly complete, and you can feel he wants to progress all the time, and every time you see him, you see some new things in his game. Now he has a drop shot, he comes to the net more. He's never satisfied with his game. He wants to always improve it. So I think that's the mark of the champions that he has.
Everyone likes you so much because you explain everything so simply. Yes, that's the word. That's simply. You see small kids all around following you here in Rome, as we've seen, and also on your social media. You say something, and right away, that boy or that girl knows how to hit the ball.
It's funny you're saying that because a lot of people think I'm faking.
Oh, really?
I tell the guy to miss, and then no, which is not true at all. No, but I think our role is to help people improve. And the best way is to be understood. You know, our job is not to know, is to pass on the knowledge to people. And it's not so much about theoretical things and knowledge, it's about how is your game, how can I improve it? And when you explain things in a way that makes it very simple, people feel, oh, I can do it. If you explain it in a very complicated way, maybe they won't understand well, or second, they will think, wow, this is difficult. I try to make them feel it's not that difficult and they can make it. It's about communication. Our job is about communicating with people.
Is it easier with kids or with already grown-up adults and maybe pro players?
The easiest is the pros. I'm talking about technical adjustments because they have such a feel of their game, their body. They know exactly what they're doing. They feel it. They are pros, you know. They're more difficult to deal with as other people because they have a strong character. They know already a lot of things.
Maybe they already think they know everything.
Not everything,
Some
but,
of them.
and they're right. They know a lot of things already about themselves, at least. And if you look at football, it's more difficult to work with, the best teams in Italy than League Two.
Exactly.
Because the guys have more ego. So this is more difficult. But technically, they know their body, they know their technique, they make adjustments like this.
Also, it has to be difficult to manage a player's character. For example, when I watched the playbook, what impacted me the most was how you spoke about Serena and how from the beginning you had to say, oh, these are my boundaries up to here. If you want it, it's okay. If not, then bye. That's difficult too when it comes to coaching tennis players.
Yes, you're right. So first of all, you can be scared to lose your job. If you work with a player and you think, wow, it's a chance of my life, I cannot make a mistake, then you're not going to do what you are supposed to do. Not that you have to be rude or at all, but if you have to say stop, or if you have to say, listen, if you go over this limit, it's finished, you have to be able to do it. If you're too scared, you're not going to do it, and then the relationship will not work. Because it's really the relationship that is in the heart of the performance. If the player trusts his coach 100% and follow him, then you can go really a long way. So establishing that relationship with both respect and trust is a key thing, and I would say is the first thing that a coach needs to do before even doing anything else.
So there was a thing that impacted me a lot too, and it was the tanking situation.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also a reflection of life in general. When you see things are not going your way, you directly stop trying and you quit. But how was it for you to manage mentally those players when you saw they already gave up? And how important it is to know how to teach them in the mindset way.
So first of all, I don't think that what people do define them.
Exactly.
Okay? They do this, they're tanking, for example, because they don't have any other option. They don't see any other way to deal with the situation. And again, I come back to the trust. You know, this player that I was talking about, she was really trusting me. I found a way for her to trust me and for her to feel that I was not judging her. She couldn't accept the idea that she was tanking, so I didn't push. I said, okay, but you were in a bad day. It was not true, she tanked. Of course she was in a bad day, but she also tanked, she did both. So I was not judging her, and I was thinking, okay, I have to propose her a different way to deal when this situation happens. It's the same when players during matches, sometimes some players are aggressive with their box. More and more players do that, by the way. Becomes more trendy. Some of champions do it, so then all the others start to do the same.
It's like breaking rackets too.
It's easy. It's easy, you know. Yeah. You make a mistake, you get angry at somebody else, but it's not somebody else. This somebody else is with you 100%.
Exactly.
You blame yourself if you want to blame someone. If you want to blame someone. So it's the same. Some players, they get so angry during the matches, they can't deal with that, and the only option they know is to put this anger on someone else. Again, if they've always done that, they don't even imagine another option than this one. So they don't know what to do. You have to help them by talking about it, first of all, saying, okay, when we are in that situation, what are the options? And we think together. And I think one of the key things also, because when people tank, when people behave bad, without any judgment, but it's not a judgment, but the wrong way, let's say it like this. Impulsively, nice. First, they don't have any other option. And second, they feel alone and they feel so bad after. So my first thing was to say, listen, you have this problem, we are together. We are together in this problem. We're going to solve it together.
Yes.
It's not like you have a problem, you have to solve it, which most of the guys would do. Because when I worked with players who were tanking, they always said, all the coaches, they were angry, they were saying it's wrong, they were leaving the court, but they were not proposing any other option, and they were not making them feel, okay, we have this problem that we're going to solve together. It's not your problem, it's our problem. And then it's a completely different approach, and they feel, wow, I'm not alone anymore. So they have so much motivation and belief that they can solve it. And before they had no belief. So that's a game changer.
The question about belief, does it have to do sometimes with lying to oneself? Or maybe telling some little lies, like white lies, to convince someone about their potential?
I don't lie. I know what you are referring to because you told me. This semi-lie that I made about to Serena, saying that her statistics at the net were great, which was not true at that time. But I knew that if I was able to make her believe that, this would become true. And as I always say, it was not a lie. It was just I was too much in advance. I in a way, I told her something that will happen, pretending it already happened. So that's what I did. Yeah, I think making people believe in themselves is a key in life. Sports or no sport, it's all about that. It's all about if you don't believe that you can do something, you're either not gonna try, or when you're gonna try and when you have the first problem, you'll give up, or you will try halfway because this would be too painful not to succeed and you're not sure you're going to succeed. So that's why when I look at young players, I have to think who is going to be a champion.
Okay.
This is one of the key things for me. How much does that player believe in himself or herself?
Okay.
Deeply, deeply. Not saying I want to be number one because they all say that, but deeply. This is such a key thing. And I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. What was it? There's this, I don't remember the quote in American, but they say...
fake it till you make it.
Exactly. I understand this also. It's not complete. It's not stupid. I think also people see you the way you see yourself. So
Perception.
for sure, and the perception of the people will impact yours. So show yourself in your best way. People will see you in the best way. They will send you this message to yourself that you're great, and you'll believe it.
Last two questions.
Yes.
What
And don't fall, huh?
Sí, porque voy. What are the main characteristics that make a tennis player number one? Apart from believing in himself or herself?
I look at three things.
Okay.
The first thing is the belief. There will be so many difficult moments where it's easy to doubt, it's easy to give up. The ones who believe the more in themselves deeply are going to go further than anyone else.
How do you know? The ones that believe in themselves.
It takes time. You have to see them in many different situations. You know, I always, when I see young players, I take them in my office and I discuss with them and I ask them very difficult questions.
Okay.
And I push them. You know, they say me, I remember when I was with Coco, she was 10, Coco Gauff. She told me, I want to be the best player of all times. Okay. I say, okay, but what do you think you can? Oh, because this. Yeah, okay, but this, what you tell me, I know 20 players who have the same. Why are you different? I push them, you know, to see how deep it is. Is it only one sentence that they say like this, or is it really in the guts? So that's the first thing. The second thing is the competitiveness. I think that the best players in the world are the best competitors.
Okay.
So you put them on a court, they practice, you think, okay, they're okay, and then you put them play a match, and then, wow, completely different player. And being a great competitor is mostly about being able to play your best at the key moments. Find a solution in the key moment. It's solution solvers, you know. I've seen a guy like Stefanos. I saw him so many times play when he was a junior because he was at my academy for a long time. I've seen him play guys. You look at the match, you think, this guy is so much better than the other one, and he was winning. And I've seen him play shot that he never ever did in practice, in a key moment in a match because he needed
under
it.
pressure.
And he needed it and he found it. So that's really special. And the third thing is the physicality. It's a very, very, very physical sport. It doesn't look like maybe as much as other sports, but it's a sport in which your body type is important. It's a sport in which you have to be light because you run extremely fast and you have to change direction all the time. It's not straight, it's side to side, front, back, and you change constantly direction. You have to stop, go, stop, go. If you have 1, 2, 3 kilos overweight, it's a lot when it goes to changing direction at a high speed. And some body types are, and you see it, most of the champions
Not
top 10.
as flexible also.
Yes, but look at the top 10. You have Novak, is like this. Zverev, Sinner, Tsitsipas. Okay, there are 1 or 2 exceptions, but mostly there is and the athletic part, how athletic they are, will make such a big difference because you cannot be injured too much. You see players that have been ruined their career because of too many injuries. So again, the ones who are the most athletic will go, I think, a longer way.
Last question, and it's all about the academy.
Yes.
The Mouratoglou Academy. The summer is coming. It's the best time to train with you in the south of France. Tell me a bit of the philosophy of your academy.
Well, I started my academy, you were not born. It was in the previous century, 1996.
I was born.
You were born. Just you were 1 year old. Okay. So previous century. So it's a long story. I built it. I started with renting 2 courts in a club, and now it's the biggest in Europe. We have the same philosophy since day one. My philosophy is that everybody is different, and everybody needs something special, something adapted to his or her needs. So we've been doing that since 1996 with incredible results at the highest level. So that's why the academy became so big, because it grew year after year. Now We're in the French Riviera, which is probably one of the nicest places in the world for summer. We have 250 players every single week who come. The atmosphere is really incredible. We have a lot of champions also, so it's great to practice and see the champions on the next court. We have Stefanos, Medvedev, Rune, Coco, all those guys. So summer is great in the French Riviera. And of course we have a program full-time with 250 players who want to become professionals or go to the universities in the US. We have the school. It's really a place.
A full program.
Full program, and it's a place for all the people who are passionate about tennis.
Your advice for young tennis players? Maybe you have something that you always say. Or...
I think something very important is to surround yourself with the best people. The best people, what is it? It's not necessarily the ones who know more than others. It's the ones who believe the most in you.
Okay.
It's so important. If you see in their eyes how much they believe in you every day, and they see you with a positive eye, with a kind eye, I think you can go much higher than if you are surrounded people who are supposed to know more, but they criticize you, or they don't trust you, or they don't believe in you that much. So
or they don't say the truth.
Or they're lying.
Or they're lying. Thanks a lot, Patrick, and enjoy the rest of the tournament.
I will.
Thanks.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.